I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, like, who thought it was nice to have the Miami Dolphins scheduled against an FCS team in Week 3 of the NFL season. I'm just trying to figure out, because what the F was that? 70 burger, and probably could have had more, did the Miami Dolphins put up on the Denver Broncos yesterday? I don't know when. I'm sure there's, stats that have been thrown out there. I don't recall ever seeing that ever at all at any point. It seemed like, they were playing Wofford or somebody from college football that's scheduled early on in the season because they're looking for a payout. I don't. That was. Game. What the hell was that, man?
In defense of the Denver Broncos, their defense was pretty banged up. They were missing some pieces in the secondary, so maybe that played a role. But, Miami was even without Waddle. Remember, Jalen Waddle was out due to a concussion. So you literally didn't even have their full strength. And it's just – I've been saying it for weeks now. The offensive creativity – those 2 shovel passes that Mike McDaniel had kind of put in, and the different things that he does pre-snap and where he puts guys in different spots, it's so far beyond the other teams. Like if I asked you right now who are the 2 best teams in the NFL, I would say San Francisco and Miami. Yeah. They're both 3-0. They've both been pretty darn good, and they come from the same coaching tree. Obviously, Mike McDaniel had coached under Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. And it's just like, I feel it's really easy to see which offensives excel, which coaches have creativity and it can put defenses in a bind. And you can say, well, they have Tyreek Hill or they have Deebo Samuel, they have Christian. Okay, that's part of it. But I'll say this much. Brock Purdy's played really well, and Tua Tagovailoa's played fantastic this year. Have we ever talked about them as a top 5 QB?
No.
Like, we don't look at either of those two and say, well, they're Josh Allen. Or they're Patrick Mahomes, or they're even Joe Burrow, or Lamar Jackson, or we never talk about them like that. So it's kind of crazy to me that you look at the 2 best teams right now, 3 games in, and I know Philly and Tampa are both undefeated; they play tonight. But if you look at those 2 teams, and you said if you want to talk about the personnel they have, okay, but it's the coaching, it's the offensive creativity, the innovation that they have, and it's by far and away bigger than anyone else in the NFL. And I think they're separating themselves. Like Shanahan and Mike McDaniel are separating themselves from everyone else that they go up against, at least schematically. They're ahead of the game right now, and it seems very obvious. Oof.
I would venture to say if a team in the National Football League allows 70 points in the game, somebody should be fired.
Oh, geez,
now, I'm not calling for somebody's job. I'm just saying in corporate America, if you have a fail as epic as that in a performance.
Like Bud Light? Oh.
I can guarantee you. Guarantee you when that ad campaign ran and it was finished, multiple people lost their job. I can guarantee that.
I mean, we know 2 did. Yeah.
we can guarantee
there was a brand
that.
Ambassador. There was probably somebody came up with it, but yeah.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? That was such a poor, to me, you can have a bad day because guys are missing. But when you have a point total of a happening that's literally 2 points away from what's ever happened ever.
Okay, hold on. Who are you firing, though? Sean Payton?
I don't know. I don't know. If I'm
sure
Sean Payton, somebody's got to go.
Are you sure that wasn't the red ass that Vic Fangio had, maybe?
I mean,
it was a red ass. I'll tell you that. And it was getting slapped over and over and over and over, and he gave somebody else a red ass.
And got dealt a crap bag when he was coach of the Broncos with the quarterback situation.
Slap! What did the four fingers say to the face? Over and over and over and over and over and over, 70 times over.
The defensive coordinator is Vance Joseph. I mean, I feel like that's a little, it's a little premature just to fire him after 3 games. But
Lee, can we run with that?
I don't know, premature after
Twitter,
70.
Please.
How many did the defense put up? Did the defense put up too many? Like, there wasn't that many points the defense put up. I didn't see.
They didn't put up any. The Dolphins scored 10 touchdowns. 70
points were.
The Dolphins scored 10 touchdowns.
Somebody's got to go. Somebody got to go.
It's like
the Broncos scored 7. So so the Broncos offense scored a couple, or 13.
And that
points.
wasn't that
the
late?
Scored 7.
When did they score? It was late, right? Yeah. I mean, I just.
It's the old Nick Saban quote. They ran through them like bleep through a tin horn, just all day, and could have gotten more.
I mean, when I was doing my prep for what I would say and how I would interpret what took place in the Miami game versus Denver, all I could sit there and think about was somebody's got to lose their job over this. If I own that team and that's what I'm paying for, I'm paying somebody to allow 70 points to get on the board. 70 points.
Hey, Lee, can we run with LaVar Arrington says Vance Joseph should be fired? Can we run with that on Twitter, the FSR Twitter account?
I mean, again, what is unfair about it? Like, and I stand on that. Like, nothing personal. Don't know the guy. Never met him. No personal beefs. No bones. Have nothing against anybody other than to say I have something against you being in second place. I think they're in second place now all time for most points allowed in an NFL game. I do believe that they're second place.
I'll put it this way. Granted, the Steelers got a win last night, but the Dolphins in one game gained more yards than the Steelers had the 2 games combined going into it.
2 games.
Hey, Lee, can we also run with Brady Quinn says Matt Canada should be fired? So we're just.
But I never said that.
I know, but it's.
I mean, here's a different headline, Lee. Run with Jonas Knox did basically get Petros Papadakis fired.
Oh wow!
We're getting everybody fired here.
If
that could have backfired on you, did it there, Jonas?
Not really.
That was cute, though.
Not really.
Yeah.
If your stat line was 306 yards passing, you had 1 TD, you had 1 turnover, one INT, and your quarterback rating was a 83.9. You had no fumbles. You were sacked 1 time. Would you sit there and think? I would think that that's a team that probably won the game. I would say they probably won the game. And they not only didn't win, they got throttled, thumped.
They run through our ass like through a tin horn, man.
Yep. I mean, I find it to be pretty. That's got to be super alarming.
Do you want to hear?
Because you are also. Let's keep this in mind, guys. I do want to hear it. Let's keep in mind this team is they were 0-2 going into the game. They had already lost 2 games.
Wow.
So you can clearly say they are not trending up from those 2 losses and improving as they go. That was a horrible trending down on your 3rd loss. Horrible trending down, by the way. But go ahead, Jonas. Go ahead.
Do you want to hear Red Ash Sean Payton after the game?
Oh, I mean, who cares?
All right, okay, so here's the Broncos head coach.
These next 2 days, we'll have a lot to look at and discuss. Again, it's disappointing. I mean, I'm at a loss for words because I've never been I've been on the other side of some games like that, and then every once in a while in this league, you get your butt whipped, but this was more than that.
I know that you said it's embarrassing, but this is kind of an historic game. I mean, it's the 3rd time the team has scored 70 points, over 700.
What's the question?
I mean,
what's the question?
How do you feel about it being
I just finished telling you.
Historically embarrassing.
Next question.
I mean, if you give up 70 points, do you get to respond to the media that way? I mean, I would have to answer that question every single time a reporter asked me a question in terms of if it's embarrassing, even if you already
Can I
answered.
point this out, though? After Sean Payton, who was so vocal about Nathaniel Hackett last year, and I'm not even saying that there's any ties.
Great take.
But I do wonder if there's like an element of, like, yes, Vic Fangio's on defense. I'm sure he had a red ass to say, like, no, we're going to pour it on these guys the entire time for firing me.
And you couldn't stop it.
Right. But I'm sure there's some, like almost like bro code. You know, like Sean Payton was out, went to TV, maybe rubbed some people the wrong way, the way he would, like, politic for jobs or talk about jobs. And it's almost like Mike McDaniel and them, like, nah, we're going to teach Sean a lesson or two. Like that Super Bowl he won, it was a little while ago. We're going to show him now where the NFL is at. You know, he didn't take that much time off, but, like, let's just put it this way. Like, we're going to make sure he realizes you can't just talk like that when you're out about a guy that was coaching last year and bury him the way he did Nathaniel Hackett. I do wonder if there's an element of that at play where they kind of really wanted to stick it to Sean Payton for how vocal he's been about all that.